owes to God, and grace is what God owes to man. But unless you give him duty, he does not give grace. Everyone has to do his duty. We were born for that. Each one was born with a swadharma. There is no way in which you can give up. My dear listeners, I make myself a guinea pig. I make myself an objective case study. There was a time when I was participating in the world. Now I am a witness. And the witness is looking at this participant that was. And I tell you, I passed through the worst of life, but it does not affect in any way my talk to you, because this is the duty for which I was born. Not even one lecture on the Lord have I cancelled because of depression. Not one tranquilizer have I taken all my life. Not one sleeping tablet. Not one tablet to make me tranquil, because the Lord is there. I call him the master of the world and the dearest one who comes to wipe your tear. He is the tear wiper and the soul regaler. This afternoon I was reading a poem by Khalil Gibran on pain, and he says, he may be giving you sorrow in the form of a cup which burns your lips, but please remember, the potter has moistened the cup with his own tears. Even the pain is given by him. Endure it. Endure it. He is there with you. He is there. Remember that. That's what the Gita does. The Gita regales your spirit and makes you a different person. When duty is given by man to God, God gives grace to man. Duty leads to discipline, order, harmony, justice. Lack of duty leads to indiscipline, chaos, loneliness, embarrassment. It is necessary for all of us to do our duty, from the Prime Minister to the sweeper. Each one is a yogi. Yoga does not mean having long beards and matted hair and going to mountain tops and monasteries. Duty is doing what we are supposed to do in the right fashion, for the right thing, for the betterment of the world, for the betterment of one's own personality, for the welfare of the world, and in the service of God. Everything in the Gita is God-oriented, God-centered, God-directed. Yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi, dadasiyat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Depression ensues because we think we are doing more than we are capable of. It ensues because we think the burden on our shoulder is more than what we can bear, not knowing that is 10,000 shoulders are bearing the burden and we are not. The day I feel I am running my institution, I am depressed. The day I remember he is running the institution, I am happy. You are not running your home. You are not looking after your society around you. He is looking after it. The only answer I can give is from Akhananji Maharaj's very, very rustic example. Maharajji says, there was a man walking down the street with a huge bundle on his head. One of his friends was a truck driver, and as he was driving past, he stopped the truck and gave him a lift. Our man, rustic, sits in the van, in the truck, and a few minutes later, the truck driver turns round and finds, to his shock, that our man is sitting with the bundle on his head. And he asks him, what's the problem? You gave me a lift, but I have to carry my burden. The truck driver said, if I give you a lift, I give your burden also a lift. Most of us are like the man with the burden, not allowing the Lord to carry our burden. I hope you understand. I am so unhappy that Arjuna stands before the Lord and he cannot disburden himself. One who came to wash his horses and clean his stables, that Krishna is there with him. And depression in the presence of Krishna. Then why not depression in our lives who don't feel Krishna at all? Don't you think? We are not worse off than Arjuna. Arjuna is worse off than us, because standing with Krishna, who is Sachitaranda Rupaya, and yet he cannot disburden himself. It takes 18 chapters for Arjuna to disburden himself and tell the Lord, please look after me. Every creature in the world is telling us that duty leads to discipline, duty leads to order, duty leads to harmony, duty leads to justice. Whereas, opposite, lack of duty leads to indiscipline, lack of duty leads to chaos, lack of duty leads to lovelessness and embarrassment. Who are the terrorists of the world? Highly educated people, but unemployed. Not doing their duty. They take 5 years in order to find out how to destroy a building. Ask my brother Vishwanathji. If they had used 5 years to make a building, they would have made a beautiful monument in the world. Why is all this energy misdirected? Because duty was not